up, fuckers? It's your boy IB Tat back with another family-friendly hiker trash YouTube video. Sorry for if it's a little dark, a little overcast today in the AT, but yes, I am currently on the Appalachian Trail for an overnighter to get some sanity back, because it's been about 4 months since I had some weight in my back. Needed to get out here and clear my fucking head, so just out here for a quick overnighter with my boy Roscoe P. Waggletails. And it's been, 4 months since I talked to y'all, so I figured I better do a little Q&A video. I put out an Instagram story yesterday, see what kind of questions y'all had for me, and we'll do a little catching up, I reckon. All right, first question is from Stephanie_and asks, how are you dealing with post-trail life? Well, it fucking sucks, I ain't gonna lie. It sucks. I wish I was still out on trail, man. You get that, like I said, sense of relief when you first get done the long trail, but then a week after you get home, it's like, fuck, man, I wish I was back out there. And that's what I'm dealing with. You just deal with it and start planning for the next adventure. So that's kind of where I'm at right now and why I'm out here for this overnighter, to get a little sanity back. So next question is Harry622. How are you liking Georgia and your new job? Hope you're loving it. Well, yes, I am currently working at Neil Gap on the AT at Mountain Crossings. I will be here for the year. I'm digging it, man. I was up in Maine for 4 months, and I don't know, it felt like I needed to get back down south. And as soon as I hit the road and got back down here, I just felt almost a sense of relief, sense of happiness. I don't know, these mountains here behind me hold a special place in my heart, and I'm biased to the Southern Appalachians, and those rolling hills are fucking gorgeous, so it does feel good to be back down here. Working at Mountain Crossings is just right on the AT. I mean, it's the only place on the AT that the trail goes under a building, under a roof, I should say. So I get to see every damn piece of hiker trash that comes through there on the through hike this year. So that's pretty killer. All right, next question is from Kyle NSU1. Asks, what's the newest trend on gear that you have seen/heard? I don't know, everybody. I don't know if it's a trend. It's been a trend for a while now. The whole ultralight scene. I'm not quite there yet. I use ultralight gear, but I'm not one of those, sub 10 pound base weight dudes. The hikers that you see early on coming through mountain crossings, and within the first 30 miles, you can tell some of them don't have a fucking clue. And a lot of them have jumped on that bandwagon and bought all the ultralight packs and gear and shit. Unfortunately, they're trying to shove 50 pounds of gear in those ultralight packs. And they're asking, well, why the hell is my pack hurt? Well, you're trying to shove 50 pounds of gear in a pack that was made for 30 pounds. So there you go. The trend, it's there. It's not going anywhere as far as the ultralight thing. But yeah, you got to have your base weight somewhat dialed in to use that fucking gear. All right, next question is from CB Farrar. If you had a chance, would you hike any section of the PCT again? Well, hell yeah, I'd hike all the sections. I'd do the fucker again. I mean, if I have the money to keep hiking and my body is not crippled, I will keep hiking. I'll hike the PCT again in a heartbeat. That trail is unbelievably beautiful. Obviously some sections kicked my fucking ass, and that last section up in Washington was a nightmare at times, but I wouldn't trade it for the fucking world, man. It was awesome, and I would do that whole fucking trail in a heartbeat. Next question is from Trails Are Calling. Do you have any hand sanitizer or toilet paper? Shit tickets on deck, mine. Next question is from one Jennifer 3er. I don't know. Sorry if I'm butchering these names. How about selling some adventurous as fuck patches? That patch, I get that question quite often. I don't make those patches. I bought those patches from a company. I can't even Vent Forth. I can't remember the name of they stopped selling them from what I understand. I bought up like 3 of them initially when I bought that patch, and then I just put them on my packs the last 2 years. So, I mean, I suppose I can make some, but I bought those from another company. I don't make those things. Next question is from Get Hiking Brook. Why did you leave Maine? Well, the reason why I'm down here in Georgia, one of the reasons is, as many of you know, I went up to work for Hyperlight Mountain Gear up in Biddeford, Maine. When I was on the PCT finishing up, I had reached out to them and see if they were hiring. They said, yeah, no problem, get your ass up here. So I booked a flight, moved my life up to Maine with the idea that I had a job waiting for me at Hyperlight. And I got there and the job wasn't waiting. A couple people that were like the head honchos in charge at the time were both on their way out the company, unbeknownst to me. Nobody fucking told me that. And they filled that position that they were supposed to save for me. And then I sat around basically for 3 months, and they finally offered me a temporary gig doing some sort of video work, behind the scenes type stuff. But it was temporary. I'm like, I got a through hike to save for, and I got to buy gear, and I got to buy a new fucking camera. I can't rely on temporary work. So if I wasn't working for Hyperlight up there, there was no reason for me to be there, which is why I booked a flight and got a ride down to Georgia. All right, next question is from Jamie01205. Since being back on the AT, any future plans to hike it again, maybe solo? I mean, no future plans as of right now. I would definitely hike this trail again. I mean, just being out on, it doesn't matter what fucking trail it is. I just love living in my fucking tent like a hobo for 6 months. That's the most appealing part of through hiking for me. Just being as free as fucking possible. I don't really care what trail I'm on. I just want to be free and live like a bum for 6 months, basically. I love to fucking hike. So yes, I would do the AT again. Sobo, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule that out. A little, change of scenery, going the other way, less crowds. I would definitely consider it. Y'all know I like to hike north, but I would consider hiking the AT Sobo. Next question is from Charlie_Freed. What pour-over coffee do you use for your coffee at home? I'm not, I'm a coffee snob when I'm on trail. The only instant coffee I can do is Starbucks, really. At home, I grind my own beans and do French press coffee. I usually buy the 8 o'clock. You can find it on most grocery stores. Ingles sells it. It's like a middle of the road type deal. I don't know. It's like $10 for a 1 pound bag. Somebody sent me some, what the fuck is the name of that coffee? I can't remember it. Death Wish coffee. Somebody sent me a bag of that when I was still up in Maine. Stuff was pretty good, but it's expensive as hell. Supposedly the strongest coffee on the planet Earth. It was pretty good. All right, next question is from Stansberry Marie. Will Roscoe accompany you on your next trek? How do you prepare your dog for a long hike? Roscoe, you want to answer this question, mine? If it was up to him, he'd come with me. Unfortunately, Roscoe's a basset hound. You see how short these fucking legs are? This dude can hike, and people are shocked to see him out hiking with me up these mountains. And I actually had him on my through hike on the AT with me for 2 days. He did 20-mile day. He can put in miles, but those little legs won't get him 2,000 miles. He can't do it day in, day out. Like a 20-mile hike will destroy his ass. Even though he'll do it and he'll follow me to the end of fucking time, I wouldn't put him through that. As much as he loves to hike, I wouldn't put him through the pain of a through hike. I'm sure he would try his damnedest and do it till he was dead, but I'm not going to put this little guy through that pain. So, I don't know. There's a couple of people that I know that have through hiked with their dogs. Walk with Winnie, if you're familiar with him. He went Sobo on the AT last year with his dog. Hit him up and ask him. He'd be an expert on that shit. All right, next question is from A Rose Daw. What are you doing these days? Will you be my tour guide when I through hike the AT? No, I will not be your tour guide. And if you followed me for any period of time, you know I hate fucking hiking around people. I like hiking solo. If you want to pay me to get on my next trail, I will take you up on the AT, but not on a through hike. What am I doing these days? I'm out here for my sanity for an overnighter. That's basically what I'm going to be doing this year. Working at mountain crossings, getting out on the trail for a couple overnight sections when I can. But the main goal is to get on the CDT next year. That's the only thing that's on my fucking mind right now. All right, next question is the Mean Burrito 9. How do you afford through hiking? Well, we're not all Dixies and we're not all Darwins. We don't have the money flowing in from YouTube. I make a little bit and it pays for my on-trail expenses basically when I vlog every day. But I don't do it year-round like those guys, so I got to go back to work for a living. So it's whatever seasonal work you can find. And I was a cook for 10 years. Now I'm working for an outfitter. So you just find work that you can do in the off-season to get your ass back out on the fucking trail, basically. I mean, you see guys that do it day in, day out, or year in and year out. They're not, raking in 6 figures. It's just we're all working shit jobs just to get back on fucking trail. That's what it is. It's worth it, though. All right. We'll do one more question tonight, and I'll wrap up some more questions in the morning. How's that? All right, Mike_McDevitt. Stove comparison from the AT to the PCT. So On the AT, I used the Pocket Rocket 2. That was the big craze going on right at the time, so I used it and it worked fine. Actually, mine broke though. I can't remember what happened to it. The valve somehow was leaking gas at one point. I'm buying another one. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what happened. It took a shit on me. That's not to say the Pocket Rocket is a bad stove. It's a great stove, but for the PCT, I switched over to the Optimus Crux Lite, and that thing kicked ass on the PCT. The main comparison between the two that I've noticed is the Pocket Rocket. It's a direct flame straight. Just didn't distribute the flame that great. It was just right in the middle of the pot. So the Optimus Crux, what it does is the flame wraps around the pot basically. I don't know if that boils it any faster. The boil times are about the same on the two stoves. I didn't have any problems with the Optimus going out with wind or anything like that. So it kicked ass, and I'm going to be using it again for the CDT. So yeah, Optimus Crux Lite, check it out. But you know, the Pocket Rocket's a great stove too. You can't really go wrong. You see a lot of those guys buying those cheapo Amazon ones, like $15 Amazon ones. I know a guy that triple crown with that stove, so you know, stove's a stove. If it boils water, that's all I fucking use it for. So I could pretty much use anything. It would work for me most likely. But I dug the Optimus, so I'm gonna stick with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, fuckers. Roscoe's whining. He's probably hungry. I'm gonna get me a mountain house going, relax in my tent for this evening, and we'll hot you fuckers in the morning, man. Good morning, you motherfucking sunshines. How'd you sleep last night, boy? Huh? How'd you sleep last night? Oh, that's good, boy. Well, the sun is, goddamn, wish I had my sunglasses. It was overcast as shit this morning, white out. Now the sun is burning through those clouds. It looks amazing. Well, the rains came in last night around 8:30. Thunderstorm for a while. I was kind of worried with the lightning strikes being up on top of this wolf floral top is where I'm at right now. But no worries. Rain put me right to fucking sleep. And it's dry this morning. Well, it's not raining anyway. Chance of thunderstorms today. So I'm going to pack up and get the fuck out of here as soon as I can. So I don't have to walk in the rain. I'm not through hiking this year. I don't have to walk in the rain. Well, I guess we'll finish up the questions that I didn't get to last night. All right. First question. It's a two-parter from Chloe Darling _. Would you do a meet and greet? Well, I don't think I have that many folks lining up to meet me. Although it seems like every day at mountain crossing somebody comes through and wants to grab a picture or something, which is cool. So if you're rolling through mountain crossings, I'll be there. Our next question is, when is your next through hike? Well, the CDT is in the works for 2021. I had to take this year off, unfortunately, to save up some cash, get some new gear and shit like that. But yeah, hopefully I will be starting at the New Mexico border late April next year, and we'll be hiking north to Canada once again. All right, next question is from Where is Shep? The brotherhood or friendships you made on that last push to Canada. Well, yeah, I don't know if you guys watched those videos. That last stretch was fucking gnarly as shit, and I mentioned it in the videos that if I hadn't met up with those guys, I probably would have never made the border, because they pushed me to the end, and we all worked together to get that last 60 miles done. But yeah, it was me, Beats, Rabbit, and Snazzy. Those guys are fucking badass, and I know Beats for sure is planning his 2021 through hike of the CDT as well. I'll wrap up his Triple Crown. So hopefully I'll see him out there next year. But yeah, I still stay in touch. We're all on social media and stuff like that. So we're all in other parts of the country. Beats is in Jersey, and Rabbit lives out in San Diego, and Snazzy's down in Florida. So it's not like we see each other, but we're in contact through social media and whatnot. Next question is, nope as please. What happened with the Hyperlite deal? Well, I mentioned that yesterday. Last night, yeah, it was just it was shitty. And the worst part about that whole thing was, I would have never moved up there if I hadn't been told on the phone that I had a job waiting. I don't know. I feel like I was kind of just pushed aside in the whole situation. I mean, the last 2 years, you guys know, I've talked about Hyperlite constantly and photo after photo after photo on Instagram. I was basically pretty much a walking billboard for them for 2 years, and I didn't have to do that. They didn't tell me to do that. I just did it on my own because I love their fucking gear so much. So when I got up to Maine and they kind of just threw me aside and said, "Oh, sorry, there's nothing available. Just wait it out," I just felt, like I was just tossed to fucking side. I didn't think that was right. So yeah, it was shitty. Next question is from HD Crossbones. Is Mount Everest on the bucket list? Well, if you want to fucking give me $60,000, then yeah, sign me up. I hiked enough in the snow last year, man. I don't want to do that fucking Mount Everest shit. All right, next question is from 72 Chicken Wing. How many days of food did you start the PCT with? How many liters of water as well? Well, on the PCT, you hit, I think the first water source is within like 3 miles, if I remember right. I only started from the border at Campo with like 2 liters on me, I think. And then you hit a water source fairly soon on the PCT. Last year, it was green as shit. The water sources, the natural water sources that are on the PCT were flowing, more than not. There are those dry stretches. In that case, there was water caches in the desert and shit. I think the most I ever carried was 5 liters. And as far as the food goes, I don't remember how much I started with. I think I did 15 miles the first day. I don't know. I don't remember how much food I carried. Probably like 4 or 5 days. I don't remember, to be honest with you. All right, next question is from Daniel _Worcester. Cheeseburger or independently wealthy? I guess he's asking which one would I choose. Well, on trail, when you're starving, you're thirsty, and you're sore as shit, and you're in pain and shit, all you crave is a fucking cheeseburger. You're not thinking about money in the least. It's just food is king out there. So when I'm in those tough sections, I'm thinking cheeseburger all the fucking way. Now that I'm off the trail and shit, being independently wealthy to buy all the fucking new gear I want and just be able to hike year round, it's pretty tempting. But yeah, your whole mindset changes when you're on fucking trail and all you crave is fucking like pizza and cheeseburgers and you don't give a shit about the dollar bill at that point. Next question is from 4 Malekis. Would you consider doing the AT again? Yes, I think I mentioned this yesterday. Yeah, I do the AT again, for sure. I got to rev up that Triple Crown, but after I do that, then I can kind of pick and choose what I want to do, and whether or not I try to do all 3 again or try a different trail. I don't know. That's yet to be determined, but we'll figure it out. Next question is from Denver _Gibson. What is one mistake you feel you made in through hiking the AT? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I got better at this in the PCT, but in the AT I was pretty fucking stubborn. And if you remember that stretch in Pennsylvania, I think when I took that spill in Parisburg and fucked up my shin real bad, I probably should have taken more time off. I got right back on fucking trail after, I think I took a 0 and then got back on trail, and I limped for like 60, 70 miles, and I was in fucking pain. I was popping ibuprofen like they were Skittles, and my leg was all wrapped up with KT tape and shit. I probably should have taken like 3 or 4 zeros and made sure it was all ready to go, because that like 60 or 70 miles, I was in major fucking pain hiking. Listen to your body. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give on these long fucking trails. All right, next question is from Cow's Rust 68. Sorry if I butchered that, mine. When you pitched your tent on the AT and PCT, did you use a footprint? Nope, never used a footprint. Z-Packs, I used the duplex on the AT for half the AT, and now I got the Durago. They claim you don't need a footprint, and you really don't. You just be mindful of where you're setting your shit up, obviously on the PCT in the desert you get those spiny cactuses and shit like that. Just make sure you're not setting up on anything spiny. On the AT you got roots and rocks everywhere, so just kind of clear out your campsite. I never used a footprint, never really needed one. If these tents are a huge investment, they're not cheap, $600 to $800. So if you want these things for the long term, then I would consider getting a piece of Tyvek or something like that. It weighs nothing, and just carry that. But the way I look at it, these tents and this gear for these thru hikes are one-time use only. I don't mind rebuying stuff because it's over 2,000 miles. You're beating the hell out of it for 6 fucking months. So, but if you're weekend warrior type stuff and you make an investment in a tent like this, then I would consider using a footprint just to make it last longer. Next question is from simply underscore saunter. How often do the responsibilities of home pop up in your mind on trail? Absolutely fucking never. I don't have any responsibilities at home. I don't have any fucking bills. When I'm on trail, I got a cell phone bill, Spotify, Epidemic Sound, subscription type stuff, but I don't have a mortgage or kids or anything like that. A wife back home. I have Roscoe P. Waggletails. He's about the only thing I think of when I'm on trail from back home. But everything else is just, I'm in that life, man, and that's my world, and that's all I fucking think about. Next question is from Joe Grunt. Does your beard get dry as fuck on the trail and itch? Asking for a friend. Yeah, it does. I do use beard oil when I'm at home off the trail. But there's no really reason to carry that shit. For one thing, it could leak inside your pack. I would never want that to fucking happen all over my gear and shit. But yeah, my beard does get fucking itchy. You just deal with it and move on. There was a company that Live Bearded sent me some oil when I was in Oregon last year, and I used for a little while and then ditched it because I'm not carrying that shit. Back home, it's nice though. But yeah, my beard is itchy as fuck on trail for sure. Next question is from Cloud Vision LLC. What are your fears for the CDT? I guess off the top of my head, you hear about bears up in Montana and shit, and I lived up there for 4 years. I've seen grizzlies up there, and they're no joke. It's not necessarily a fear, but it's gonna be in the back of my mind. I'll have bear spray and all that good shit out there. Be more aware of, not cooking by my tent site and getting my food away from my tent and shit at night. That's, grizzlies are nothing to fuck with. So, I guess that would be one thing, and then. I don't want to have a repeat of the PCT finishing up in the snow in Montana. I'm gonna try not to dilly-dally as much maybe and make sure I get to a glacier at a reasonable time so I'm not pushing through that fucking snow again. But, I also got to be aware of Colorado too and the timing, so the logistics might be a little different on the CDT. I just don't want to have to go through that fucking snow and shit at the end again. This one is from Cloud Vision LLC. What gear changes might you make for the CDT? Well, I'll do the typical gear videos when that time comes, but, my basic setup is pretty much the same. It's just newer stuff I have to buy. I'm still going to get the lighting equipment quilt. I'm just getting a new one. Sleeping pad is the same. I'll get a new one. I'm probably going to rock this Durago again for the CDT starting out. The pack, I'm going to still use Hyperlite, but I'm switching to the Junction. The only issue I had with that Wind Rider was the mesh in my water bottle pockets ripped pretty significantly, and I not only put water bottles in there, but my Nutella I put in there, sometimes my spoon. I don't want that shit falling through those holes. So the Junction pack is the cloth material, and they still leave the mesh for the backing. So it's basically the same pack. Just they use the cloth for the water bottle pockets. So I'm going to switch to that one. I'll be ordering that soon. As far as shoes go, still rocking Ultra Lone Peaks. Well, I just ordered a pair of the 4.5, so I'm going to test those out when I get those. But stove's the same, water setup's going to be the same, pretty much everything else is the same. It's just newer gear, and that's about it. But when the time comes, I'll be doing the gear video for you guys so you guys know exactly what I'll be carrying on the CDT. Wish I was carrying Roscoe P. Waggletails, but he's going to sit that one out again. Well, shit, that's going to wrap it up for the Q&A. Hope you guys enjoy this. I know it's been a while. I just needed to get my head right and get settled down here in Georgia. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was out of money and broke, and I couldn't even feed myself up in Maine, so I was very stressed out, but now I can breathe easy a little bit, save some cash, and get out here for these overnighters. Enjoy the AT a little bit this year while I prepare for the CDT. If you have any more questions, just hit me up on Instagram. Link is below. If you guys do want to support my upcoming hike for the CDT, I'll link my PayPal and my Patreon down below. I do have a store where I'm selling some merch and stickers and shirts and shit. That's linked on my Instagram, so check that out. All right, fuckers, I'm going to pack up here now that the sun is starting to shine, and we'll get on out of here and enjoy the rest of my day off. We'll holler at you fuckers later.